The New York Rangers signed a very solid backup goalie in Johnathan Quick, and this guy didn't have the best year last year. I mean, his stats definitely aren't the best, and his goals saved above expected is quite awful, let's be honest here. Out of 107 goaltenders that played last year, he finished 103rd with a minus 17.2 goals saved above expected. That is terrible. That is absolutely awful. But there is reason to think that he can be an actual solid backup goalie. Obviously, we had Yaroslav Halak last year, who was good. I mean, Yaro was very good last year. He definitely put out some solid numbers. I mean, for a backup, he had a 903 save percentage. Kept us in a lot of games when he was playing. I mean, had a couple games where he really kind of got blown up a bit, but also had some games where he looked really, really good. So I think for the most part, especially that second half of the season kind of thing when Yaro was playing, he was fantastic. The first few games were pretty awful, and that kind of probably inflated his numbers a bit. But I think overall, he was a good backup goaltender last year. I mean, we didn't need him to be an amazing guy. We just needed to, when he was playing, just hold the game close, keep the game close, don't blow up. And for the most part, he did his job and got that done. So that was kind of nice to see that he had a pretty good season last year. Had 10 wins, 9 losses, 5 OT losses. It is what it is. It's not terrible for a backup goalie, though, so definitely nice to see in 25 games last year. Had a 903 save percentage and a 2.72 goals against average. Those numbers are not bad at all. And then Johnathan Quick, obviously last year, like I said, had a bad year. I mean, his numbers combined between LA, where he had 31 games played, and then Vegas, where he had 10 combined, had an 882 save percentage combined with a 3.41 goals against. And, overall, I think his numbers definitely got a lot better once he got to the Knights. Had a 901 save percentage with them and a 3.13 goals against, compared to with the Kings, where he had an 876 save percentage and a 3.5 goals against. So obviously the numbers got a lot better once he got to the Knights. And that is good to see because he was overall, combined between both teams, one of the worst goalies in the entire league last year, if we're being honest. But I think once he got to the Knights, it definitely seemed like he got a lot better. And I do think that we're obviously definitely a better team than the Kings. So I think that should definitely help him out a bit. I think that should be good for him. I can't see him being this bad again. I mean, he was literally pretty much like the 100th or worst goalie in the league out of 107. Like, that is pretty crazy for a guy like Johnathan Quick, who in the past has been really good. But we have seen a couple decent years in the past. I mean, just as soon as 2021 and 2022, the previous year, had a 910 save percentage and a 2.59 goals against average in 46 games played for the Kings. So I do think that we could definitely see, a solid goalie in Johnathan Quick. He's not going to be an elite guy. And we don't need him to be. We don't need him to be that 910, 920 kind of guy. But if he can at least be a decent guy who can keep us in games and, not just blow up every game he's playing, I think that'd be good. And worst case scenario, I mean, Dylan Garand or obviously Louis Domingue probably get called up, but I think Johnathan Quick should be good enough to where he can hold his own as a backup, be a solid veteran option, and hopefully, we don't have to, force a call up for Louis Domingue or, Dylan Garand. I think it'd be nice to see Dylan Garand get another full year in the AHL, get a good year to develop, and then for 2024, 2025, because Johnathan Quick did sign a 1-year deal at about $800K. I think that'd be good for Dylan Garand for next season. Not this season coming up, but next year after that to be the backup for Igor. And then obviously Igor will be coming up on his contract soon too, so I'm sure we'll re-sign Igor. But it will be nice to have a very cheap and hopefully good backup in Dylan Garand for seasons to come. And I do think that Johnathan Quick, like I said, he should be a good veteran backup, and he should be a good teammate for Igor. This should be a good guy for the locker room. I mean, we have a decent amount of American guys on this team, obviously. So having one of the best Americans of all time, or at least among goalies, in Johnathan Quick should be good. Good leader, veteran guy, has been around the league for a long time, has won a cup. He's been good, and I do think that's nice to see that he's had a ton of experience in the playoffs, has won some stuff. He's obviously been a great goalie in the past. I do think that should be really good for the team and stuff, just to have a veteran guy who's been there, done that. I mean, it's nice to have some guys who have won cups before, so that is good to see that we've brought in another guy who's won something, and definitely will bring on some good veteran experience and just be a good, hopefully, teammate for the guys, a good leader, and definitely just should be a good overall teammate in the locker room kind of guy for this team. But anyways, guys, thanks for watching. Hope you guys have enjoyed. If you guys have, please smash the like button and definitely comment down below your guys' thoughts on Johnathan Quick being the backup for the New York Rangers. And also, if you have any video ideas you want me to cover over the next month or so, because There's obviously not a whole lot to talk about right now before preseason and stuff gets started. So definitely, if you have any video ideas, prospects, reports, any other stuff like that, because I mean, I've done most of the top prospects on the Rangers right now already up in the playlist, so you go and check that out, you can. But there's not a whole lot of other top tier prospects I really want to cover. Guys like Carl Henderson, I don't really want to talk about him because he's just been awful. So if you guys have any specific prospects you want me to cover, definitely comment down below. Or any other video ideas involving the Rangers or even New York Giants stuff, definitely comment that down below, and I'll definitely make some videos on that. But anyways, guys, thanks for watching, and see ya.